The Regents Podcast. The Regents Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Regents Podcast. My name is Ellen.
And I am Aja.
And we are very clearly in the same place. Like I can touch you.
We're no longer speaking through distance and time.
Not at all. Literally, like in different days. No. We are live.
Yes.
I am visiting the East Coast and a bit of a tour, and we were able to make it work where we could record the podcast together.
That's right.
In person, real time, which is kind of major. I feel like this is what started the idea of a podcast, right?
Exactly. Absolutely.
We kicked off of this should be something.
We're just so good together. It needs to be televised. Okay?
It needs to be documented.
Yes.
So it really started, obviously years ago, we just became
2008.
BFFs and just always had really good chit chats. But I feel as though since you moved here to New Jersey. Wait, when did we? Okay. When did we start with our cat? Well, because you graduated and I was left behind. You graduated. I was left behind. I was held back. I was held back a couple years in college. And then you went to China.
Yes, but you were in Connecticut.
I was still in Connecticut, so we still hung.
We still
saw each other. We still hung each other. Went to Sweet Frog.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Sweet Frog in West Hartford.
What was the abbreviation?
Abbreviation?
Yeah, it was like a religious frozen yogurt.
Froyo.
Yeah, but it was like a religious frozen yogurt establishment. Sweet Frog stood for something.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember that?
I do, and I remember loving that.
We do everything for his love, or
that's right.
From Sweet Frog with a J for Jesus or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was really, because remember they had some things in the establishment. I'll never forget that we were sitting there. Now you have to understand, this is a decade ago at this point.
Yeah.
And back then in West Hartford, Connecticut, when we were just catching up over our froyo, Aja was saying to me what if you did a YouTube channel? What if you did this? You should be doing this. So
wow,
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. I was like, oh my God, she
see how
thinks
I influence.
You see how I should get 10%. That's what she said.
Her life.
But so I was I just was wow. She I should do something, and then I was I'm not going to. I just was YouTube had its moment. But literally, I remember being YouTube had its moment.
Did you say that?
I had it back then in my mind. I was wow. Oh, it already happened. Same thing when people were podcasts. Oh, it's what's that?
Right, right.
Until I started doing my own thing, or even just with the blow up of TikTok in the last 5 years, I think I kind of realized there's always something new, and there's always a new cycle of personalities. It doesn't stop. So it's you have to. You have to be in it to win it, quite literally.
That's right.
So,
and it's never too saturated.
No.
People, I think that scares a lot of people. Yeah. You're just everybody's on TikTok. Everybody's on Instagram. Everybody. Yeah. And people are becoming bigger and bigger and having more influence, or whatever it is that they're doing. No matter what the industry, it's always space, because no one is you. Exactly.
And if you develop a community that's interested in what you're doing, what you have to say, then that's the relationship, and that's the world that grows, and then the community that grows with you. So it's it's not oh, there's no room for another person. It's I exist, so somebody else might be interested in what I think. So or what I like to do. Right.
Exactly.
So we were in Connecticut, still hanging, still kikiing, still enjoying each other's company. And then I moved back to New Jersey.
You did. Then I was left behind.
Yeah.
And when did you move back to Jersey? I moved
back to Jersey in 2013, spring 2013. Okay.
All right. So that was a solid 2 years.
Yeah.
Where we were long distance friends.
Yeah. Because then when did you come to Jersey? You came
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
And then and
everything was great.
Yeah. For a good 6 months, maybe a year.
Exactly.
Yeah. She was living literally down the road too. Really close. Like, it's not like she just moved to New Jersey.
What does that mean?
You moved down the street. Like, you were really
literally
close.
10 minutes.
Well, when I say down the street, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, honestly, though, it was a couple of miles, but it was literally a straight shot.
But it was one road.
Like, one road.
That's what I mean. It was
down
road.
the street.
So
a long street. But
you did. You moved down the road, and we got to hang out a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely.
More frequently. And then I moved into the city.
Exactly.
But that had always been my plan. I was always going into the city.
But then also, the city's nowhere from where we are in Jersey.
Like, it's like right.
It's 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's like right there. So it's not like it's difficult. And so you would then
world.
like come visit me or go.
Yeah. Or you would come home.
My apartment. I'd come home. Exactly. I'd come hang out with you. We'd get dinner. Or we met in the city, went to Naya. That's how we went to Naya together.
That's how
I brought Aja for her first time.
She did. She did.
And now look at that.
And
it's
now
like it's like the third person
we're about
in
to
our
be
friendship.
Sponsored. Now we're Naya ambassadors.
Now we are Naya ambassadors. Naya ambassadors. Naya ambassadors. Oh, I'm going to DM this to them.
We're going to trademark that.
I'm going to DM this to you guys. I swear to God. It's like they either think we're crazy or they're like, they love our love.
We need to. No, seriously.
Like,
is anyone else doing this for them?
No, absolutely not. I honestly don't think that they're getting this kind of traction on the internet.
Not.
Like, genuinely, I am like a cult fan. We're like so dedicated.
We're so enamored.
Yeah.
With Naya.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. And if you haven't had it, holler at us.
No, truly.
No, seriously.
It's like
you need to experience
the best food ever. It's like it's like
Lebanese cuisine.
Just
such authentic
rice
flavors
and lettuce and
healthy.
Whipped garlic and hummus and baba ganoush and pickles, tomato.
Bread.
It's like if any of these things are resonating with you, like get to Anaya.
Then, for real.
Sorry, there's not any outside the tri-state area because they won't listen to me, but that's fine.
But just travel here and it'll be fun.
At Naya, give us a call. The next time I come home, we need to do something. Let's partner.
We did. No, seriously.
Contact
we already
us.
told you. So
the Regents Podcast at Gmail. Give us a
At
call.
gmail.com.
Find us on social.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we started hanging out here, but I would come home and then you'd come into the city.
Right.
And
we would,
just back
like
and forth.
Friends do.
Yeah.
Two-way street type of thing.
And prioritizing friendship, making time for each other, catching up. I think it's a good thing when you're friends with someone, but you don't talk every day. But when you get together, you're able to just like pick up like nothing. And just keep it going.
You know what? Let me just say something. I feel like that is for my really close friendships, for people who are at a distance like Ellen now in LA, or if they're across the world or whatever. That's how I've been able to mark, along with many other things, true friendship. It's like we're not ever missing a beat.
Yeah.
There's never a lack of things to talk about.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just like people of kindred spirits. You know, like we're both ambitious.
Yeah.
We're obviously both on the same like entrepreneurial journey or whatever, and it just means something. Like you can tell if you and this person, you guys are just always hitting it off. There's never a dull moment for years.
I know that's the thing is
something.
like we're never not
on
chatting. It's always like
it's on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know that's the thing. Like when we get together, I don't want to be doing an activity that requires silence.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like we've
never gone to the movie.
No, honestly, I'm like I don't think I've ever gone to the movies with you. Like we're not even like watching shows. Like we're not like hanging out but I have friends that I'm like we can hang out and like kind of be in silence, and that's fine too.
Right.
But for us, it just isn't gonna work.
It just doesn't.
Like we are just talking.
We just talk.
You know,
exactly.
we're tangents. That's the other name of the podcast.
I feel like that's a lot of my friends. Regents Tangents.
Regents Tangents. That's a segment.
How many tangents feel like did they go on? Such a thing for me.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do I talk a lot?
Oh my God. The fact that somebody other than me said that on this podcast. Do I talk a lot? I'm like, do I talk a lot?
No, because literally it's not just with you. Like even with my other really good friends, like we talk. I don't really.
I know that's
go
the thing.
To the movie.
Well, so I've been here catching up.
We can be in silence together.
Yes.
Like that's also a mark of comfort with someone.
Yes,
for sure. Yes. But it's just like there's just always.
Well, I've been here catching up with people, And it's funny because it's like there's so much to catch up on. There's so many tangents to go on. So many little jokes to tell. Of course. It's like, I swear, like I'm like losing my voice. I feel like my voice is getting like a little bit like raspy. By the time she goes back. I come home at the end of the night and I'm just like, I need a cup of tea. Because I'm just like back to back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so we've been friends for a very long time. And Indeed. So the impetus for doing this podcast, obviously you had said back in the day, you should be doing something on camera, like da-da-da. Mm-hmm. But the last couple of times in this year that we have hung out or caught up over the phone, because I've been living on the West Coast. Yeah. There was kind of just this like seed of an idea of like, let's get together, like we should do something. Right. And we got together, I think, when I came back in the summer, and we were at Naya, catching up, hanging out, eating, whatever. But the next time that we got together, I think it was in December. Yes. Was it December or was it November?
At the Cheesecake Factory.
At the Cheesecake Factory. It was freezing, so it must have been December.
Yeah.
So we got together at the Cheesecake Factory, and we were really like catching up. In it. To the point where we didn't know that the Cheesecake Factory was closing. And
like had no idea.
Like they shut the music off. They turned the lights
came on. But it's not our fault. It's their fault that they made those booths so high.
Yeah. And they put us in the back. They did. They basically put us in the bathroom. That's their fault. They put us in the back, like the least important customers you could ever have. Right. And to be honest, yes, there is an element to the Cheesecake Factory that's like being in the club when the club is closing, where it's like the lights come up, the music's out. You're like, not everybody looks the same as they did. Like the waiters are all just kind of like looking at us. Right. They're counting tips.
They kept walking by. Yeah. And I was just like, what are they looking at?
We're good. We don't need...
and you know what? We were also like right by the kitchen. You know, remember? So I felt like they were kind of like looking through the window like, what are these people doing?
Were they? I'm so oblivious.
Yes. They were. At all. And then finally we kind of like... I was like, oh my gosh.
when the music went out and the lights went up, I was just like, oh, it's curtains.
We're the only person. It's only people's here.
We gotta go. We are the only people here. We got to go.
Yeah, we had
It was so funny. Then we went out to the parking lot. We were chatting some more. It was so cold out. It was so cold.
But we were outside for like 45.
Yeah, we were outside for a while chatting in the night.
In the night. At the end of December.
In a parking lot. Like, what were we thinking?
I don't know. Idea. But we watched out for each other.
Yes, I did.
I was like, well, you get to your car. I'll get to,
Yeah, we did. We think about that kind of stuff.
We're responsible.
And that's kind of where the, like, we're got to do this. Yeah. Right? So, absolutely. As you know, we percolated. We put it together. Yeah. We didn't actually We let the idea percolate, simmer.
Yes.
Choose your descriptive word. Mm-hmm. And then we started doing the podcast. And you know what's so funny? My friend Sam, who watches and listens, thank you so much.
Hey, Sam.
She was like, because it's very obvious, like we record ahead of time and episodes get posted, right? It's not like it's being recorded today, it gets posted tomorrow. Right. And she was like, I'm trying to figure out like where you are in life as compared to where you are on the podcast. Like, because I said something, she's like, oh, okay, because on the podcast, that just happened last week.
You know what? Another good mark, and I almost don't want to tell this, is like my hair.
I was going to say your hair.
Ellen's hair is pretty much going to stay the same, but my hair is going to change.
Yeah. We're going to like eventually down the line.
Like, wait,
we're going to have people like talk on the internet being like, wait, my hair was like that a month ago, so wait a second.
So we're like six weeks behind.
Yeah, but you know, there's other podcasts that like they know they're going on vacation or something, and they'll like double record a podcast in a day because they're going on a vacation.
Well, that makes sense, and that way they can take a break.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
So there's just like a bunch of different ways people do it, but you know, we decided we want to do a podcast. So fast forward, I am traveling. Thankfully, I'm here. Yes. And we can record together.
I know. And don't y'all like this?
I know. This is nice.
Live.
So are you going to move to LA and we can do the podcast together? It's probably more likely that you would see us recording the podcast here than you coming there to record the podcast.
No.
I mean, to be honest, though, the setup here is better.
Oh.
There's not much going on over there. We wouldn't have quite the setup.
We would.
Shout out to Brandon, Anna's husband. He is a professional. These are our Emmys, but they're his.
Our.
Yeah.
What's his is ours.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about marriage, right? Like,
absolutely.
What's yours is mine. What's mine is mine.
It's mine.
I love it. You You knew.
I know that phrase. I know it well.
I'm not married, obviously.
I was just going to say. So, okay.
Clearly, I'm not the married one over here. Oh, my
But it makes
Lanta.
for a good line, for sure.
No, I'm like a no. I'm just out here like dodging, swerving kisses. That's what I'm out here. That's a new podcast, Swerving Kisses.
That's a whole other topic.
Please.
Oh, my gosh.
People are going to be like, oh, is that a sport? Like, I'm just going to call it Swerve. They're going to be like, is that a sport podcast? Like, no. No.
Just wait on it.
You'll see. You'll see. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so we're together and this is nice to do this in person.
I like this.
It feels so different though.
It does.
Because we're like just sitting at restaurants just chatting and just like catching up. But now here we are and it's like there's a microphone. We're like looking at this camera. If only you could see what this camera looks like.
First of all.
It's like a little straight rod. It's like
a straight rod.
It's like, what was that show when you like guess the price of things? Price is Right.
Price is Right.
That guy's microphone. How it was like this
Bob,
tiny little skinny.
Bob
Barker.
Love Bob Barker.
Yeah. You know how we always used to say spay and neuter your animals at the end of the episodes? Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, he always used to say like, make sure you spay and neuter your animals or whatever at the end of an episode.
Every episode?
Yeah, well, apparently it's like a little bit of a rampant issue in California that like just stray animals and cats and dogs and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like there's stray cats everywhere.
Never knew that.
Yeah, and dogs too. My friend's dog is from the mean streets of Oakland, California. They found her in like an alley. Oh. Yeah, a little Chihuahua mix.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's another reason why I won't be coming to LA. I'm like
trying to convince you to come to LA. Right. And you're like, yeah.
You're not really selling it at this
I was going to bring Olive.
That would have been so good.
I was going to bring Olive.
Brandon's allergic.
Oh, there you go.
So
yeah,
that would
Brandon's allergic. That's fine. And also, like, there's a lot of things everywhere. I just feel like she might be knocking into.
She wouldn't. She wouldn't.
Our wires or something. So
we're missing her.
No Olive.
We're missing
this
Olive
episode. I know.
Yeah, that's the first.
She's like the third.
Us.
She's like the third host of this episode.
She literally is. We need to put her little paw. Put a paw.
It would look like an in memoriam.
Just a circle of her little thing.
Remember you.
Remember me?
Don't let you. Why do I always sing?
She's always.
Why am I always
the
one that sings on the podcast?
On the low or high key? Actually, it's not even on the low.
I used to be a singer back in the day. I used to sing.
She always says.
That's because before you knew me, I was a musical theater girl in high school.
Come on.
Did you do music when you were in like grade school, high school? Like
musical theater
or like or just like choir? Did you do choir?
Oh, ever since I was in elementary school.
Yeah, so you did like prior to becoming a professional.
Never played sports.
Okay.
The only sport athletic thing I've done, I was a cheerleader.
Really?
In elementary school.
Okay. Oh, in elementary school. Okay, we're going all the way back. We're going all the way.
I'm just trying to trace my roots back.
We're going all the way back in the resume.
You want to go all the way back?
Grade school. Okay. Well, I did 1 year of soccer when I was 5.
Not that. I wasn't that young. I was a cheerleader. I don't know
How many
which
years
grade.
did you cheerlead?
Like 2 to 3.
2 to 3 years of leading the cheer.
Wow. Splits, like everything. We won the championship.
You went to a championship?
Yes.
It wasn't just
basketball.
Like cheering on the rec team?
No.
Oh, this was serious.
No, this was serious.
It was like bringing it on juniors.
Like,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's real. That's real.
So I did that, and I played. I guess you could call it intramural football. Shout out to Tony Hayes, because when I was in elementary school, this was just at recess, and Brandon always tries to negate it, but he was a semi-pro football player, and so we actually learned like
why was he there? He was just hanging out on the
he was
recess?
A former semi-pro, but he was a teacher
at the school. Oh,
he was one of the
teacher. I'm like, wait, you're kind of leading him. Like, why is this retired old man chilling at your school?
He wasn't that old. Okay. He was a former semi-pro professional, semi-pro football player.
Okay.
And he was one of the like paraprofessionals at the school.
Yeah.
And in our class in particular. And so we would actually like play, and I was good. Okay. But that is the extent of any sports that I did. And forever I've been in music. I did band. I played the flute. I really wanted to play guitar.
Really?
Yeah. And unfortunately, I didn't have a band teacher at the time when I entered middle school that was really like personable. So I was like, you know what? Forget band. I'll just do choir.
Okay.
And then from middle school on, I was in choirs.
And it was school choir. Singers. It was school choir?
Yep. School choir. So we had like the main choir, you know, for school. And then we had chamber singers. Shout out to Mindy Shalansky. Love her.
I always love that when somebody like pursues that career and they have a teacher that they can look to and be like, oh my gosh, thank you for being such like a inspiration or someone that helped guide me on my path. I don't have that. No, like our theater teacher was like the English teacher who was like took on the club essentially. Okay. And it wasn't like she was the dedicated drama teacher. You know, it was
she wasn't like fully
and it was like she was passionate enough to do the thing with us, but it was just always like a little bit like awkward. There's a little bit of politics when it comes to musical theater. So like I don't feel like I can look back. I mean, I do remember I actually used to come here to your town for singing lessons for my singing background. Miss Pittifer. There's like lots of P's and F's and T's in that name. And I used to do my music lessons here and sing. But that's where I learned that I have nodes.
I'm so sorry.
I can't.
I'm so sorry.
I literally had to explain this to somebody and he was like, what? And I was like, I suffer. I live every day with this.
Because her dreams. Right.
Yeah, they were crushed.
So now she's on the other side.
Oh my God. Okay, so wait, so I cut you off.
No, it's fine.
This is something I do all the time in real life and over. If you guys thought this was something that just happened because we were like in different places, no, it's not. I have a problem, but I feel like I address it in the moment. I feel like I always say, oh, I'm so sorry I cut you off. Go back to what you were saying. It's just that my brain goes so, what do they call it? They call it a galaxy brain, I think. Oh. Yes. It is scattered, but there's a political correct term. It's called galaxy brain.
I've never heard that.
That's really it's a new thing that we're adopting. It's,
of course.
It's how I identify as galaxy brain.
GB.
She's got the GB. Watch out.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so galaxy brain. It's like, because it's like my brain is like firing in a lot of different directions all the time. Well, and tangents. What's that like for you? For me, what's it like for you to talk to me?
The funny part though is that I too, and my sister, she and I are kind of like that. Like my brain moves really fast. Yeah. Faster than I can speak. Yeah. So I can relate to an extent. I really, really can. It's like, I don't know. I guess I'm just used to it. Because at this point, we're like 16 years
We're into it. Yeah, we're into it. I'm just like, this is how she is.
And
I always apologize.
So whatever.
I'm so sorry I cut you off. Let's go back to what you were saying. So
what was I saying?
You were in high school and you were saying that you had done choir, chamber singers, and you were shouting out your teacher.
All the regionals. Yes, Mindy Shalansky.
She
was Shalansky.
Did you call her Mrs. Shalansky? Miss Shalansky. Oh,
Miss Shalansky. I wasn't calling her Mindy.
Mindy.
When I was 13.
Could you imagine?
No, but she was. Let me tell you. Shout out to her because I was bussed out for school. So in Hartford. For middle school, I went to Granby Middle School and Granby High School. And so that's like 30 minutes, like 20 to 30 minutes away from Hartford. So we had to get like bussed out, okay, in search of a better education. Because elementary school in Hartford was top notch. Annie Fisher, one of the best schools at that time. I can't speak for it today. I don't know. But,
I don't know you. I don't know her. I don't know y'all. Annie Fisher, I don't know her.
Wow.
Forget my name.
But when I went to, and so Miss Shalansky, I think she started when I was in high school. I don't think she was the teacher for middle school. No. Okay. So anyway, I wanted to be in all the, select choirs and all that type of stuff, but they meet after hours. Like, I think there were like Tuesday or Thursday nights at like 6:00 or something. And who's going to Hartford, like coming back to Hartford, then having my parents having to drive 30 minutes out, and my dad has to go to work early in the morning. Like it was too much. Yeah. So What Mrs. Shalansky did was she was just like, you know what? I really, like, I see you want to be in these choirs. I think you're great. I'm going to make sure that you get home. And she lived just one town over from me. So she would take me home.
Oh, that's a teacher that's good. That goes above and beyond. That's a teacher that goes above and beyond. That's somebody that gets thanked when you win the Grammy. Like that's
absolutely,
that's somebody that really helped facilitate your passion and think something you were.
She really.
That's
really
nice.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Miss Shalansky for sure. No, that she totally. That's
she wins.
That's what teachers who go above and beyond. It's like the reason why we're all like teachers. We should be making more money.
Yeah.
But it's why people who go into teaching is because they're not motivated by money. They
care about the students,
exactly,
and make sure that they get the best lot that they can.
That's incredible.
Nice. And she did that for the longest, and she was always just like in my corner. I love her.
That's so sweet. And so that went. So you were in choirs and everything all through high school.
Yeah. Wow. And I forget.
Did you ever get like the solo?
Oh yes.
Of course. I said, obviously. She said obviously.
No, but
yes. Obviously. She's like, who are you talking to?
The way that came off.
I'm just kidding. No, it sounded like what you intended it to. God. I just pushed it there. That's so funny.
Naturally.
You're like, there's only 3 of us. Of course I got a solo. Or we find out it was just you and Miss Shalansky.
We were the chamber singers. We had our own doo-wop group in Granby, okay? So singing at the cafe, the coffee shop.
You're singing in the cafeteria for this. That'd be so funny. Oh my God.
Oh my. There's this one like funny story because I always tell people like I had the best of both worlds. Like in elementary school from Hartford, like I'm born and raised in Hartford. It is all black.
Yeah.
Okay. So my elementary school, it was all I saw were black kids just like me. And then I went to Granby. Yeah. Which was the complete opposite.
Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
There were no African American children except for us who came in from Hartford. We were Latinos, Latinas, and black kids. So I remember this one time I had a solo. And we had a nice auditorium. Granby was a really beautiful school. Mm-hmm. And I'm singing the solo or whatever. And I guess afterwards, my parents told me this because obviously I wasn't in the audience. Yeah. But they were laughing because my parents, like my mom is like my complexion and my dad is very fair skinned. And I was really fair skinned when I was a baby. Little known fact, but whatever. So my parents were laughing. They were like, after the concert, everyone was looking at my mom like, oh, wow, that's obviously your daughter up there.
Oh my God.
That's obviously your daughter. Like, you should be so proud. Overlooking my dad. They don't know who this man is.
This man? Like, I don't know this man.
Exactly.
Sorry to this man.
So sorry to this man. What is he doing by her?
I wouldn't know him.
But yeah, so I had like the best of both worlds. And I did some solos with that. And in chamber singers, that was like a select choir. I think you had to audition.
Yeah, what is chamber choir as opposed to just choir?
Choir is like anyone who wants to be in choir. Okay. Like if you choose that in high school as like your...
Like a kind of like elective, extra class.
Yeah, like an elective. Okay. You can choose that. Chamber singers is more of a select choir where you have to audition. Like you have to be able to read music and like solfege. So we would have to know like do, re, mi, reading music like that.
Oh no, I can't read music. I'd be out.
Where's Miss Pennifer?
No, Miss Pettifer. Okay. She was more like teaching me like how to sing.
Technical.
Yeah, technical.
Aspects. Got you.
And then what was his name? Our choir teacher. I can't remember.
This was in school or outside?
In high school.
Okay.
I had a choir teacher. I gave up my lunch period so I could be in choir because that was the only
dedication.
Time. Yeah, Okay. That was the only time I could take it. It was my freshman year. And then I quit that. And I just did musical theater. I just did musical theater in high school. But I did musical theater like as a kid, like leading up to.
See, I never did that. Yeah. I never did musical theater.
Because I liked acting too. I liked acting as well.
See, in college, I did this like workshop where we went to Ossining, New York, and we did like acting and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
It was really cool. It was like an intensive. So a week of us. That was legit.
A week in school and they took you somewhere?
In college.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It might have been, I'm trying to think if it was on spring break. I have no idea. Or maybe it was in the summer.
Yeah.
I can't tell you which time of year it was. But it was intensive. Like, we went and you studied. You had to give your phone. Like, I had never gone to like a sleepaway camp.
Oh,
but
wow.
it was very much that.
Oh,
like,
my God.
taking cold showers. That was my first introduction to rice milk.
Rice milk?
Yes.
What are you talking about, rice milk? But they don't give you milk?
No, because if you're singing and stuff, dairy's
bad.
Not great.
So they started.
So they gave. Yeah, we had rice milk. We had no dairy products.
They're not messing around.
No, it was intensive.
Wow, that is intense.
It was very cool. But that's where I learned. We had like these, like circles, and we're all doing our monologues and stuff. And I did my premiere on Off-Broadway theater at the Schubert Theater, I think it was. Yeah, at the end of it. It was really cool.
That's major.
That was the only thing I ever had with acting. Oh, my God. I've never done like, not a real like play or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. I did. In grade school, I did the John Harms Theater in Inglewood, and we did like little
what play was it, or musical?
We did little bits of plays. So like I did, what is it? New York, I forget what play what play that is, but it's like I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. Someone watching this right now is like screaming at
they're like
duh. Right. Be like, Alexa, what is the and then I did John Harms a couple times over. I genuinely can't remember all of them. And then in grade school, we did again with Miss Pittifer as our music teacher during the end of year show or Christmas show. We did little like scenes of a show in each grade. Oh. So like one year I was Maria in West Side Story. Oh, and I sang her song about like she likes being in America. Like, I like to be in America. America. And then in high school, there's probably a VHS somewhere.
I'm sure there is.
And then in high school, I did theater all through all of high school except my senior year, because the club really went downhill senior year, and they were trying to do like one acts and like not try to do actual like musicals with people because there was not enough kids in the club.
There wasn't enough interest?
No, there wasn't enough interest.
Dang.
There really wasn't. There wasn't a real interest in like the arts in my school, because it was like a school that was very focused on education.
I was just gonna say, you had a very like specialty type
and there was like, and there were arts, and like there was arts as like graphic design as a major, like culinary as a major. So people who did have any kind of like focused artistic flair, we were very focused on the thing they were focused on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I did like, what did I do? I did the Ellie Greenwich story, and I did what was the other one? I can't remember the first one. Something I don't remember. Something I don't know. Something I don't know. I can't remember. But I played Darlene Love.
Oh,
yeah, I played Darlene Love in the Ellie Greenwich story.
I love that. That's
awesome. There was no any ounce of blackface involved. I just want to be very clear.
I
just want to be very clear about that.
She just was Darlene Love.
I just played her. I just sang the music. I just obviously was the one that was the most talented to be able to play that role. But there's such iconic songs from that, like going to the chapel. Like the story of it is basically the story of Ellie Greenwich, and I forget who she married, and they were like these big time like songwriters, producers during like the 50s.
Okay.
So there's all these songs of like the Ronettes and everything, like all these songs that growing up.
Yeah.
Like in a deep mountain high, do I love you, my oh my.
Okay, gotcha.
I was like trying to get there, but like there's all these songs that you like don't realize like Phil Spector. I don't remember what his name was. Okay. They produced a lot of music together, and so Darlene Love was one of the people that they worked a lot with, and all these other groups. So that was a really was a really cool one. Yeah, because it just felt like really like interesting to know the backstory and all that jazz, but. Yeah, I was very into musical theater, and then when She's
always been into entertainment.
Always been a big performer.
Yes,
always been a big give me the mic kind of a gal.
Give me the mic.
Yeah, I feel like I've calmed down since I was younger with like being like, give me the mic kind of vibes. Okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and like being very like performative.
Okay.
And now I think I've kind of like settled in to be a little more like talk radio kind of host type vibe.
Talk radio.
I don't know.
NPR.
Oh, I did a radio show in college.
Did you? So did I.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Coming at you live from WSAM.
That's right. Listen, We had our radio show.
What was your radio show?
I think it was my freshman year. Me and my roommate at the time.
Oh, get out of here.
My second freshman year roommate, Stacy. We had our own little radio show, but we would play, like hip hop.
Yeah.
R&B,
wait, what was it called?
Like that's a good question.
Oh my God.
I don't recall.
I can't remember. I think I did it my junior year with Brandon Goncalves from Red Caps. Yes. He was so funny. And we used to just like have these little like bits, and we had segments that was called So Fresh. Because I used to say like, oh my God, you're being so fresh. Like when someone was being like overly flirtatious or a little bit like risque. Yeah, like you're so fresh. I did a throwback. I have always had phrases. I just want to say, right? You can attest.
Yes,
there were always like little phrases, little things
like
I used to say.
That's an Ellen saying.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know. I just always say I love having fun with words. I just like to push the limits of what words can do. I love know. I think maybe because when I was in grade school, this kid, he used to say, what did he used to say? There was a word, and it's a real word, and I like couldn't believe it was a real word. And he just used to say it all the time. Oh God, I can't remember. Anyway, he did used to say this one word all the time, and I think it like really like fixated on. I was like, wow, that's a fun word to say. It sounds fun.
Okay.
I want to say more fun.
Sounds
fun. Like I want to say more like fun words.
Things.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it started. But so in college it was So Fresh with he was DJ Skank and I was DJ Jersey Princess. It was like a huge, the whole thing, honestly, if I could sum it up, it was like a meme.
Okay.
The show, like our promo banner that used to play outside of like the Hawk's Nest, which was like a late night food spot.
Nest.
And it used to play like there was a TV right in front of the radio show because you could see the radio station from there.
Right.
And we would be Sundays at like 8 or 9, and you could actually watch it on television on campus. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, there was a camera in the studio.
What?
By the time
maybe I knew that, but maybe I didn't.
But you could turn it on like channel 6 or 9 on campus.
STN.
Yeah, literally, it was like the next channel, and you could watch who was ever playing. Radio.
Live. Oh,
so we would have segments.
I think that was after.
We would do like Would You Rathers. We would do like this, F, Marry, Kill. Like we would play. We'd have segments. We'd have fun, and our little promo would change every once in a while. So one time it was like The Situation and Snooki as like a joke. Like we just always put like people in pop culture as like our thing.
Yeah.
And it was just funny, and we'd have people call in sometimes or we'd play some songs, and it would just, work the board and oh my God, we had such a blast.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I loved having, cuz wasn't it like, where was it located?
It was diagonally across from Hawk's Nest, like in that downstairs area. You know when when the line would go out into the hallway?
It was like
It was right there.
That's right. I'm like, it was in like a place.
It was underground
it was like
practically.
Legit. And I was just excited about like, oh wow, I can like man the board for the radio to play. So we didn't have like segments or anything like that. I was just excited to be at the radio station and playing music that we wanted to hear and all of that. It was really cool.
That was like, isn't that so wild that you get like that exposure to different things like that? And who would have thought I would have eventually... I mean, it's just so obvious to me that, like, there's been so many signs throughout my life that this is the direction I should have been going in the whole time.
Right.
And I just think, like, fear has just played such a big role. And I just think that I've been really clear that I just am not interested in that anymore. And I'm not interested in, like, letting, like, fear of the thing guide me away from the thing.
Yes.
Right. Because it's so obvious. It's been, I mean, for you as well. I mean, like your whole life you've been singing.
Yeah.
So it's like my whole life I've been like entertaining.
Absolutely.
I'm like putting on shows when I'm little. I'm literally taking real tickets, writing on this. I had this little like fake theater, like folding thing that was like you'd prop up on a table and I could like fake take tickets. And I could write up like what time the movie was showing.
How sweet!
Yeah, and it had like little like bars in front of your face, like as like a movie theater.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but
that's cute.
I would take tickets. I would always like
just in the mix. Okay?
Yeah, like
every which way.
You make fun of like you kind of like make fun of like the idea of like the little kids who are like putting on a show. Yeah.
But that was you.
That was me. And I was like orchestrating all my cousins.
Right.
Like, let's come on.
Oh my God. That was me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Me and my cousins, like we would, I'll never forget. At my cousin's his college graduation party, I think it was. We had a party. Of course, we had to sing him a song and everything. Like, always singing a song. Always me and my cousins, like, doing something. Doing a dance, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's always been. And it wasn't just like, oh, we just do that for fun. Like, we really... And obviously, I was like, no, I'm going to.
I was like, okay, like, I was like, okay, you do a cartwheel and I'll sing. And it's like, okay, you like jump on one foot and I'll perform. I'm like, I'm like, exactly. Watch us now. Like, here we are. Like, just so extra. I swear. Yeah. But and I'm sure that's a lot for a parent, and someone is a lot, like big energy, lot of performing energy. Yeah. And then I did choir. Like, I was in the church's choir. Yeah. You know, when I always shooting for a solo, never getting it.
15.
You know, they'd always let you go up for like one. And like one time I think I got a good solo or something.
Okay,
but,
well,
you know,
we'll take that.
You know, there's this, well, I'm trying to think what the song was. It's like, and he will raise you up. Do you know this song?
She loves to sing.
On E. so offbeat. There no, I don't know this song. The breath of dawn.
Praise Jesus.
Shine like the sun and hold you in the palm.
Girl, I don't know this song.
I'm like, come on, the palm of his hand.
Oh my gosh.
Lanta, I can't believe I just pulled that out of the archives.
Look at that. Look at how we dug deep. We dug deep.
We used to do a lot of performances in the church too. Yeah, the grade school, because we had church every first Friday of the month that we had to go to when I was in grade school, and then you get a half day.
Oh, because you went to a Catholic school.
I went to a Catholic school.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait,
so we were constantly like doing performances, like, you know, just, and there was like hand movements and, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, there was a lot happening. As long as there was as long as it was like for the Lord, they were good for. They were good for a performance.
They were good for
a performance. Anytime, like, I could even like, I don't know, say like a Hail Mary into a microphone, I was excited.
Of course. She all just wanted the mic. She told y'all.
I asked for a karaoke machine when I was a kid.
I had those.
Did you have one?
What? Absolutely. Loved it.
Those, like, microphones now that's like freestanding, like loose, like the Echo ones?
Echo ones. Yeah.
I have one of those like I have one of those like TikTok microphones.
Oh no, I don't have those.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, I do have another like Bluetooth microphone, but again, it has to be
a professional one. Yeah, it's not like a silly one.
It's not like
internet.
A gold.
Oh,
yeah,
no. My gold one.
Oh yes,
my gold. But you're like, no, it's not like that trash that you have.
I remember
during the pandemic when I was like post. I was just taking videos of myself losing my mind in my apartment.
Wait, but can we talk about the karaoke machine? Because you had the one that was like stands on the floor and it had a screen. Listen, you could put like 6 CDs in there. Lyrics show up. It was amazing. Speaker at the bottom.
Oh yeah, I made my uncle burn me CDs.
You couldn't tell me I didn't have like a show. That was a show.
I mean, truly,
absolutely.
You know the equivalent of like giving a kid a drum kit.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I think that's it.
That was it.
Like that's the annoyance level of just like
give me a mic and I will let it ring.
I'm like, Mom, like literally like, Mom,
just in the mic,
Mom. Like, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mom? Like that's literally
test.
I was just constantly like, let me turn it all the way up.
There's something about the amplification of human voice that like gets people so like.
I don't know, especially as a kid. I think that there's something to like being heard.
Absolutely.
I think that there's like a level of like, you know, if you take it a step deeper of like, why are they so obsessed with like projecting their voices? It's like because I'm small and I have a small body and
everyone's bigger than
everyone's
me.
Bigger.
Yeah.
And everyone's listening to each other, not listening to me.
And everyone has authority over me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I want my voice to like project, you know? I was always getting yelled at about like inside voices and stuff.
Were you?
Yeah, not at my house, but like in other places.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or
so you would go places and show out.
I just think I was trying to be myself and I was being put in a box.
And you were being muffled.
I was being muffled. Exactly. Okay. I was being held back. You know, or even in class, I'd talk a lot and I'd get called to the hallway.
I would talk a lot too.
Like, stop distracting the other students.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm putting on a show. So
they're bored.
I'm sorry you can't hold their attention in the front of the classroom.
But I can.
But I'm telling you, in the back, it's going off. Okay,
right.
Everyone is listening to what I have to say.
It's going off.
I would literally going up in New Jersey. Yeah, I've been here for 5 days.
And she's back to her.
I noticed it the other day. Okay? I was talking and I was just like,
listen,
because it's when I talk fast. It's when I talk fast.
Yeah,
and it's not even like my family has like heavy, like hardcore accents in Jersey. No, but it's like when I talk fast, it's like when I talk.
Oh, she's from Jersey.
Fast, yeah,
talk.
It gets really quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man!
What were you singing on your? What were you singing on your karaoke machine?
Oh gosh, everything.
Yeah,
all the pop things.
I was big into Amazing Grace.
Really?
Yeah, that was one I was really like, watch this. Yeah,
watch me work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so into like pop, R&B, soul stuff. I love that because that's what I grew up on. Hearing my parents listen to, all that Al Green, Teddy Pendergrass, Johnny Taylor. They didn't have his stuff on karaoke, but that's like what I grew up. So all that stuff.
Okay.
If it was on the radio or something,
anything, you're just grabbing the mic and performing.
Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Was there anybody in your life that was like performative and like performing like that around you, like a parent, an aunt, a cousin, or it was just kind of coming from you?
We have a lot of like musical people in my family. One of my cousins, she's been on Broadway forever.
Wow.
So she's done a bunch of stuff, Maya, and she's an amazing singer. But I also had like other great singers. That's on my mom's side. On my dad's side, I have 2 cousins and an R&B group that are super popular. And also on my mom's side again, I had another like distant cousin who sang in the church. Beautiful voice though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but never like, it wasn't like in my face per se. So it wasn't like I could go and be like, hey auntie, because I have a lot of, my mom's one of 7 and my dad, he's one of 4. So it was never like in my immediate sphere.
Okay.
But it was just something that I like naturally gravitated towards. I don't know. So, and my parents love to sing and dance. Like, so my dad, he, I used to always say like, he could hit like the Al Green notes. And I would love to like hear him sing and stuff like that, but never, for real.
Yeah.
But they can hold a note.
Okay? Oh, look at them.
Mom and Dad, they can hold a note. Aww. For sure. So yeah, I don't know. It was just
it's
something
interesting.
That was
like
in
where, I think it's like if it's in you, it's coming out.
Yeah.
It's like if you have this, I don't know. I think there's just like an energy of wanting to perform, wanting to entertain, wanting to sing. Like if it's in you, it's coming out.
And the wild part though is that unlike you, I was not big in your face. Yeah. And I think people can probably like ascertain that. But I was so shy. But when I would get on stage, like I never wanted people to hear me practice. My parents would never hear me practice. When I had my solos and stuff, like I'd come home after school if I'm in high school. Yeah. And I'm practicing before they get home.
Oh, wow.
Like, don't want you to hear me mess up. I don't want to like, I was very like, it has to be perfect. You know? And, but I was never like too shy. I never had stage fright to the point where it was just like, oh my God, I get up there and I'm like, I've never had that.
You're like, I can do this.
Yeah. But I was always just kind of like, I just wasn't that kid who was always singing in your face. I was more like, I practice, I rehearse. When I'm ready, I come and perform. Okay. like when I am stage ready, you'll hear it. When I'm stage ready. No, legit. Yeah. That's literally how it was. Some people are just like, they sing in front of everybody, everywhere, all the time. I've never done that.
Well, it's probably why you don't have nodes.
Well, that's another.
We'll just do a quick explanation. It's when your vocal cords don't really rub together the right way, and it lets like a raspy air out. That's all you really need to know.
Was that damage that you had done to it, or is it like
you have to learn to sing around it, and you have to do? It's like working out. Like you have to physical therapy. You have to like build it and figure out how to sing around it. Unless you're going to have the surgery to remove them. And I was like, I'm not that great of a singer, so no.
Forget that.
You know, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my friend, whenever, when we were in college, I told her about it because we watched Pitch Perfect and one of the characters has nodes. So now whenever it's on, it's like a memory that I can't erase of just like with her notes. And she's like, you got the notes? You got your notes?
That's my life.
And I'm just like, yeah, I live with an invisible disease every day.
Day to day.
You know,
right.
I have an invisible disability. So one of my many.
Gosh.
One of my many. Did you know that like depression and anxiety are considered a disability? They're part of like the American disability coverage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I only recently learned that in the last couple of years.
No, I did not know.
I was like, wow, I just had no idea that we were.
Yeah.
There's so much that we're backwards and late on in society that I was surprised that was something that was included.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a very hard left. But I wanted to make sure that we have a couple seconds left to talk about the fact that you are singing professionally and you are singing at North to Shore. And I know our audience has heard about the excitement and the lead up, and I wanted to make sure that we told everybody how it went.
It went so great.
Yeah.
We had such an awesome time. I had an amazing band backing me. We had D. Davis on the keys, Nick Morrison on bass, Errol Lanier on drums. And it was a time. We had like a 25 to 30 minute set. And it was a mix of like covers, originals, and all of that. But people showed up. They showed out. That was fun. And it was an experience for real. And shout out to the Newark City Parks Foundation, because they were like our production crew.
Okay.
They did a great job. The stage was awesome. Like the LED backdrop that we had, it really made way for like the visuals that Moye Visuals curated. And that was really, really, really cool. But it was an experience for real.
That's
and leading
amazing.
up, working with NJ Pack, doing all like the promo and stuff like that.
The promo was very professional.
I know, right?
I loved it. So I was like, oh my God. Very like,
it was like, we know
HD.
what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was impressed. Impressed.
And honestly, like, that's the type of stuff that was so much fun. It was a public showcase, and I know we've been talking a lot. Like, I do a lot of private stuff right now, but that was a public event, of which I'd love to do like so much more. So really, towards the next 3 to 6 months, that's what I'm really gearing more towards.
Okay.
Doing more of those so that people have other opportunities to come and see me live, perform in public, and all of that.
Well,
because it's such a joy.
Holiday season, time to book you up. Guys, July, Christmas in July, that's what they say, is because when everyone's planning ahead and business plans ahead, we're thinking Christmas in July.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Book Aja, because she's about to be booked and busy.
Already booking.
Yeah, for sure.
Legit.
I like that you brought up that's kind of like what you're looking at 3-6 months out, thinking ahead.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm wearing like my Aja hat when I start to, because you're really good at planning or being really intentional about like looking ahead and being like, okay, what's next? What am I doing next?
Yeah.
And I was thinking that for the next 6 months, because I've been building up the business that I've been creating for myself, and it's going well for the last 6 months. And so I'm kind of like, I want to now venture into managing social media for small businesses in the area.
Oh, I love that.
People who are like, because I kind of got inspired by like you and my friend Lauren, who like people who need to be on social, but don't particularly like doing social media.
Right.
I'm like, I would love to help and be able to help people and small businesses.
I'm about to hire her. Yeah.
I'll give you my rate card.
Right.
But like help people and small businesses, or help people that like need to be on social media so that they can gather an audience really for clients.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing I want to do. There's so many small businesses, especially in my area, that are like, woman owned or like Black owned businesses that I would really like to support and be in service of. And so that's kind of the thing where I'm like, it feels like I can take what I've done in the past and make it useful.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it's also like a different style of work that I can do, where maybe I'm not on camera, but it's something I can do. And it's something that I can do that's consistent work, so that while the other stuff comes in, there's some weeks where it's like a week and a half, 2 weeks, if something hasn't come in, I still have all this other stuff going on.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where my head's at for the next 6 months.
That's
for the rest
really
of the
cool.
year.
I love that for you, because you're so good at that.
Thank you.
You have a natural knack for social media and navigating and really being on it, and a love for it, that people would pay.
Oh,
absolutely.
Thank you.
So hire her.
So I want to make sure we'll include a clip for your performance.
Oh,
I think we'll make sure we include a clip.
Yeah.
There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo. So much space. Yeah. And when you're out there without care, I was out of touch.
So everyone, make sure you go catch the whole performance.
You won't
highlight.
catch the whole one.
Yeah,
the whole highlight.
You have to pay that. Patreon. you gotta sign up.
But the highlight reel will be there. Yes,
I love that
for sure.
Oh my God, I wish I could have gone. Are you gonna ever come to LA and perform?
No, absolutely.
I thought you were gonna say no.
Of course not, girl. No. I travel. Yes. Okay. Domestically and internationally.
Well, there is like a performance in the park that my friend just texted me about. Mm-hmm. There's a park on the water right by me, and they have different performances every weekend. And she was like, "Oh my God, we got to go." This person, and I didn't know who it was, and she's like, "I forgot you're a couple of years younger than me." But I was like, "Oh," but it's like one of those like kind of like overpack, how there's like a summer concert series.
Oh yeah, like a summer stage.
Maybe I'll connect you so that you can come next summer.
Listen,
maybe they have a Christmas one. Maybe they have a Christmas one.
First of all, I don't like the shade that I'm getting. As if I will never go to LA. How long have you been there now? A little over a year?
2 years this August.
Year and a half.
2 years this August.
August you went?
2 years.
September.
2 years August.
All right, that's fine.
I got there August in the 20s of August.
In my defense, her parents and her whole family live here. Yeah. Okay, so
in Asha's defense,
she hasn't gone to Connecticut.
I do come. Why would I go to Connecticut? You don't even live in Connecticut.
I could just name any random state.
Just like something that has a remote connection to us. She's never in Connecticut.
Never goes back to U-Heart.
When was the last time I was in Connecticut?
Did you go back to U-Heart anytime?
I went back to U-Heart when I took my cousin to do a tour.
And that was not too long ago.
No, that was all.
Oh, it was a long time
That was Julie.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I want to say that was probably like 2014, 15.
10 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time. I've definitely been through Connecticut.
Okay.
I've been into the state. I went to visit my friend Corey and Mike who used to live in Mystic.
Okay.
So I've been into the state.
Okay.
I drove through it to go to your wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really been up. Too. I think I went to Boston.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I'm going to LA. I am. I'm coming. I am coming. I have flight privileges and whatnot. I'll be coming.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I do.
Oh, come on. Okay, so the next episode will be filmed in LA.
Yes. There we go. Yes,
I hope everybody enjoyed seeing us like IRL.
I know. And this we're like here. Wow.
It just like flows. This is
I know.
Whether we're together or apart, you're always in my heart.
Here she goes. All right. And on that,
I die. All right, I love it. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Regents Podcast.
Oh, man, yes.
I'm Ellen.
Been fun. I'm Aja Moye.
Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Aja Moye Music. That's AJAMOYE Music on TikTok, Facebook, IG, and on my website, ajamoye.com. And where can they find you?
You can find me at Ellen with a Y, ELLYNWITHAY on Instagram and TikTok. Don't bother going to my Twitter because I don't care. And that is also my website.
Yes.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, comment,
all the things.
Follow,
share,
turn on your notifications, and then follow us on social media.
Yes. At the Regents Podcast.
Thanks so much. This is awesome. I love the live person.
We're going to do live again. This
Yay.
Is cool.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Peace. The Regents Podcast. The Regents Podcast.